Hello my friends, good morning, good to you from sunny Glasgow, wherever you may be, good evening or good afternoon. Today's topic is a very important one. It's called falling back to old ways. People call it relapse. I don't like that word. It's falling back to old ways. It's a difficult one because most of us who are listening or watching, you'll see that how easy it is to fall back into the old routines and habits that were formed throughout our lives that become habits. Falling back to depression, falling back to unhappiness, falling back to taking drugs again, drink, or gambling, or sex, or retail therapy. I never seemed to take the lesson. Now many times I fell back to my old ways, anger, judging, criticising, all the things that took me back to insanity. And it's a horrible experience when we've got that length of time where we've felt really good about ourselves, we've been happy, we're grateful. That's the key to life, as I keep saying, sincerity and gratitude. But it's not nice when we keep going back to the old ways. And then we punish ourselves for falling back, maybe putting weight back on, not eating, causes a lot of unhappiness in our life. But I had to look at why did I keep falling back, whether I was picking up drugs or alcohol or eating or whatever it was. I was unhappy, I knew I was unhappy. I couldn't recognise the trigger that took away when I had that space of serenity, I would say, in my life. And I would fall back and I would end up back in another rehab or prison or back homeless again. I couldn't recognise the behaviours, I kept blaming. And through all the videos you'll see that once we stop blaming people, situations, circumstances and ourselves, that's when the freedom comes. But this video is about how do we keep falling back when we get a wee run, as I would say, of peace and serenity in our life. What's the cause of us falling back the way continuously sometimes? Most of us, if we're being honest, is forming comfort zones. We feel comfortable there. We've set our boundaries. We don't like people crossing these boundaries that we have set, which is understandable. I don't like my own boundaries being crossed. But the complacency was the thing that I had to recognise within myself, why I became so complacent. I can remember when I was a child, my grandmother, bless her, kept saying, be vigilant, be vigilant. But I didn't understand what that meant. To be vigilant was to be totally aware of every single thought that went through my mind, every reaction to my own thoughts and how I was reacting to other people. How I was reacting to life, always talking about other people, the government, family, friends, gossiping, judging. I understand why I kept falling back, getting into depression, back on medication. I hadn't worked on myself. I had this wee week or two, maybe a month or two, where nobody was annoying me. Things were going well, I was getting my money in, I was maybe getting a bit of work, my relationship was going great. I wasn't working on myself. I took everything for granted. I get so complacent. I forgot to do my daily routines, my principles that I'd set for myself. I fell back into old ways, old habits, old comfort zones. I hadn't done the work on myself, and that is the only reason. I've been working with mental health for a long time, as you know, and that is addiction to me. I've never treated it. I hate the word addiction. I don't know how society gets away with it, but they do. You depend, as we know, on these things to kill the emotional pain that we're experiencing in our bodies and in our lives. And we're experiencing that through the way we're thinking. Nobody else throws their thoughts into our head. We experience these horrible sensations that scientists say is feelings and emotions It's just two words, the same as sorry, the same as God, the same as love. They're just words. Unless there's action put behind them, we know we do not like what goes on in our body, and we run away from that, a sensation in our stomach. Then we've got the guilt and the shame and the regret that's continuously, people keep falling back through that. They will not forgive ourselves. That's insane, why we can't just say, I forgive myself, I apologise, and get on with our life. Why? It's simple, it is really simple. The feelings and the sensations that we feel, whether it's resentment, anger towards someone else, because we're blaming them for how we're feeling, if we're honest. People say that, that I'm brutally honest, and I say, no, you only get honesty and dishonesty. In the middle, there's no middle. You're either yes or no. It's because I speak the truth, my truth, it's not everybody's truth, but hopefully someone's getting identification from this, and because it's down to responsibility. We will always fall back unless we take responsibility. I think you understand that much. But we'll always fall back if we do not continually working on ourselves. That's on the thoughts, listening to our own thoughts, challenging our own thoughts, something that we're not taught to do. When you listen to them, you will understand why you fall back, the way we speak to ourselves. The words that we're using is important. I kept falling back because of self-talk, chattering to myself, horrible words, horrible thoughts, blaming everybody. That's the reason I kept falling back, whether it was back to totally insanity. I had loads of guilt and shame and regret because my family had broken up and I wasn't getting to see my son, and things like that, or my grandson, and you punish yourself for that, and then you start focusing on something else that's going on in the world just now, the greed, the ignorance, the suffering, and we tend to just get angry with it, and then we'll think of any excuse at all, because it's always excuses for me, any excuse at all to just go and pick up something or gamble or get angry. And then I would feel guilty and ashamed for doing that. And that was another excuse for me to continue doing what I was doing. And this is, people, it's funny really when you think how many people out there is trying to help us, who all studied like myself at college and university to go and help people. And really we couldn't help ourselves. Our heart was there, our heart's pure, we wanted to go and do it. The work has to be done on ourselves, that we can become examples to other people. It's through my experience I've learned a teacher is someone who's experienced their pain and share it honestly and openly with other people as an example to give them hope. And when I studied in counselling and got accredited and qualified, I felt ashamed because it was only words. I didn't understand what I understand now. It's took me 27 years to get here, and that's the purpose of these videos, is to help other people who are struggling, who keep falling back, whether relapsing back into drugs and alcohol and back into prison and back homeless again and losing your partner. And we keep falling back all the way, we keep falling back, 2 steps forward and then another step back. And that's showing you, our experience, our own, my friends, has shown us that the only thing that's causing that is you. And that was a difficult part for me to admit that. I had to change, my friends, I had to really change. I had to knuckle down and start forgiving myself and forgiving other people. I can't blame anybody for my behaviours and the way I think. I can't blame them. You didn't make me think. You didn't make me lash out at you. I lash out because I'm unhappy and I'm angry with myself or somebody else. And I'm never looking at myself and why are you allowing this to happen, Jared? Why am I allowing it to happen to myself? Why am I keeping doing something I don't want to do? And that to me was insane. Repeating the same mistake and looking for a different result is insanity. That's what we do as human beings. We don't recognise how powerful, how strong we are. Every word that you hear, like strength and courage and serenity, peace, everything lies inside you. I've experienced every single part of that. I've learned to keep it on a daily basis with non-reaction. I didn't want to fall back again. I kept falling back, whether it be attempted suicide on many occasions, through my depression and through my unhappiness, through my guilt and shame and regrets. And these are the things that I wasn't dealing with that kept coming back, and that's the reason I kept falling back. I hadn't looked at the blame I was putting on myself and the blame I was putting on other people. That's a major cause for falling back. Don't get me wrong here, if we've never experienced the loss of a loved one, that could easily take us back, especially a child. I don't even like speaking about that because it's very, very sore, because I've worked with hundreds of parents and people who have lost a child, and to me that's devastating. Nobody can turn around and blame you if you fall back the way, but we have to learn to be responsible to come back again and want to come back. I've used every excuse on the planet. Believe me, I have used every excuse on the planet. Now I know that what I'm responsible for, that nobody can hurt me, nobody can hurt you, nobody. We do it ourselves. If you're honest, you see you will do it yourself. We're too busy looking at what's going on in the world and what's going on with other people. We're blaming other people. We're blaming people for our breakup. We're even blaming ourselves for the loss of our own child or something, lost our jobs, lost our house, We continually punishing ourselves with our own thoughts. That is the major cause and number one for falling back the way. So came me saying complacency. Complacency happens when you've already started something and you enjoy it, and then you forget, you lost your gratitude and you become complacent. There is certain situations we've never faced before, circumstances that put in our way, but we've never known how to deal with it. These videos are helping you understand that no matter what happens in life, no matter what happens, we don't need to pick up anything, we don't have to gamble, we don't have to get angry, resentful, bitter or blame. We don't have to do any of that. When we understand what we're responsible for is the mind, the body and the spirit. And when we let the mind go, the body and spirit die inside, we know that because we either lost weight or we put weight on, we don't eat right, we become so depressed and angry just through the mind, and we become unwell and we end up in the doctors and the hospital. Through the mind, just the thoughts, it's destroying the body. But I've looked at healthy people, spiritual people, people who have worked on themselves. I don't see them at the hospital, I don't see them at the doctors. They're doing what they're doing, they're going on with their own life, they're minding their own business. I've worked with hundreds, maybe thousands of people who have recovered from dependency, who have helped challenge themselves, and I've never fell back. If there's wee slips now and again, and a slip, as you know, is a warning sign. We'll get that wee warning sign, maybe we'll fall back a day or two. That's a slip, which is from me, and experiences the universe and the spirit trying to say to you, well, watch what you're doing here, come on, watch what you're doing. Take responsibility, listen to yourself, what thoughts are you having, look at the reaction, the feeling that's going on in your body caused by your own thought. The crazy thing is we become frightened of our own thoughts, and we become frightened of a sensation in your stomach. When you've been hit with a baseball bat and stabbed and kicked with 2 or 3 people, that's quite sore. That feeling that we react to and fall back to is crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's a sensation in your whole body. That's your spirit and your body saying, well, please love yourself. Give yourself a break here. Stop doing this to yourself. Why are you doing that to yourself with your own thinking? That was me. That's why I ended up in 3 mental institutions. And I can sit there and laugh today, but it wasn't funny at the time, but I can laugh today because I ended up getting the same qualifications as the people that locked me up. I think I said that in another video. And that showed me the insanity that people do not understand themselves, so how can we understand other people? The world's full of assumptions and academics, and bless them, not as angry as I used to be. To fall back all the time and not to take the lesson from it, my friends, is insane. Take the lesson, stop the blaming, you won't fall back. Whatever's happened in our life, can we change it? That's what I had to look at. Can we change it? Can we change whatever's happened? And if you can't, then we have to accept it. That's training the mind, because once we accept it, there's no pain. There's no pain. If you can change it, you can only change yourself and how you see it, how you used to react, how you used to behave towards yourself and other people. What's going on in the world, we have to let that go. That'll take care of itself. The world's been here for a long, long time, well before us. It's people. I speak about that in another video. All the videos are very similar. What we've learned, how if you think about the time that you were in a good place, how did you get there? What were you thinking? What were you doing? When you sit and looking at it, you'll see, and then you look at the trigger, why did I fall back a bit? And if you get honest with yourself, you'll see something happened. And then you'll catch the trigger, and then you'll take the lesson, then you won't fall back again, because you're taking responsibility, you're admitting, okay, I made a wee mistake there, thank you so much for showing me that. But years ago I was crying, if I'd heard it, I pulled it out, I was punching walls, putting guns in my mouth, knives. These are the insane things we do as human beings, because we're not being kind to ourselves and we're not being true to ourselves. And the reason we keep falling back into depression and sadness is because it's a comfort zone. It's normal. It's easier for us just to fall back away. No, it's not. You know you want to go forward. And you know the only person that can take you forward is you. When we change the thoughts, the circumstances change, the health changes, your friendships change, relationships change, finances, everything changes when we change. That's fact. How do I know that? I can remember about 20 years ago listening to Wayne Dyer, bless his soul. And then for years I listened to the man. And I listened to other people on YouTube for years, but nobody was teaching us how to practice. But one thing I took from Wayne was, when his book came out, was change your thoughts and you change your life. Very simple. 2 wee sentences. Change your thoughts and you change your life. And it's so true. The difficult part is we keep saying to ourselves, I can't, in Glasgow, I can't do that, or I can't do that, or I don't want to do that, I'm scared. All we're asked to do is challenge our thought. That's all we're asked to do. We don't need to go to school or college or university to learn to challenge our own mind and say, don't go there, I'm sorry, I apologise. You will recognise the pride. If you can't do these things that I couldn't do, then it's pride. So for us to move forward, we have to recognise the things that's holding us back. And that's the old habits that I speak about, the old behaviours, the fear. Because everything, the reason we fall back, my friends, to put it in a nutshell, is fear. And if you look at the fear video, you'll see, whoa, I keep expecting bad things to happen. I keep criticising myself and other people. And you've heard of the word karma. What goes around comes around. What we give is what we get back. Ain't that so true? Because every one of us experience it. Everybody, we all wear a mask. We're walking about with this mask on, smiling and people pleasing, and you wonder, you hate yourself and you wonder why we slip back. We can't recognise the fear that we're living with that's causing us to go back the way instead of forward, because we enjoy that wee peace. If you're honest, you enjoy that bit of peace. And you created that bit of peace because of your actions, the way you were thinking, the way you were behaving towards yourself and other people in a nice, loving, compassionate way. And remember, my friends, I was very aggressive and violent in it. I didn't speak the way I speak just now. I had to change all that. I had to change every part of me. I didn't like my nature. I didn't like the person I turned out to be. And I swore to myself I wouldn't fall back. 27, nearly 28 years next month. And I promised myself, and it's a promise I never broke. I've wanted to many a time, but I knew the pain that I was in while I was in the mental institutions and in the rehabs and the prisons. I didn't want that back in my life. And when I finally understood what happened to me, and I stopped blaming, I've not fell back. I've took responsibility. It's a short journey. It's my life, my feelings, my emotions, my sensations, my thoughts, my body, my soul, my mind, mine. And I'm responsible for every part of that. And I won't let anybody or anything upset that ever again. And that's what I'm trying to give you. Nobody can control you. And if you allow that to happen, it's through fear. Please don't punish yourself anymore. Go forward. You can do anything that you want. When you say no, I'm not doing that, you won't do it. You won't do it. You won't allow your mind to say, well, I'll just do it this time. I'll stop tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. Why are we complacent? Why aren't we practicing every day to be kind to yourself? Every day, every moment, smiling, being grateful. You won't fall back. The only cause of relapsing and falling back is because we won't change the thoughts, the behaviours or the reactions. It sounds a lot, but it happens inside, here in the mind. When people say it's an inside job, I never understood what that meant. I do now. Because when we do the work on the mind, the inside starts to heal and great things start to happen. The body starts to heal. The sensations are absolutely beautiful through kindness and gratitude. You're taking responsibility for the blame, the thoughts, the shame, the guilt, the regret, the loss and the grief. It's not, I still cry, have a wee cry over my family. I've lost a lot of family there just a few months back, my mother and my brother. And I still have my wee cry of joy. I don't go in that pity pot, being selfish, and I know they're there. I feel it. I've experienced it through meditation. I feel them just now when I'm speaking. And that's an experience because I opened my mind and my heart and I wanted to change, and I was tired of hurting and tired of falling back and picking myself up and falling back. I was getting too old for it. And I'm getting too old now, so that's the purpose of my videos, is to help my friends, to help anyone who watches. This is for you, it's not for me. You won't fall back because you're finally taking responsibility for every time we fell back. We can look at the lesson. Why did I do that? And when you finally take the lesson that's been put in front of us, you won't fall back again. I promise you that. It's the only cause for falling back. We can use every excuse, different circumstances, different people, different situations. But how long do we want to stay trapped? How long? Remember, a slip is a warning sign. A day or two, you can fall back into the old behaviours. And if you can catch it, you won't fall back for good. Some people don't come back, we know that. We've experienced that as well. Friends, family. Don't fall back. Go forward. It's your choice. It's your decision. It's within you. It's unbelievable what you can do through your mind, the things that you will attract to you. And if you're honest, you'll see when we're thinking negative and doing negative things, the people that are in our life are doing the same thing. When we stop doing these things and we change our thoughts and our behaviours, you'll see you'll attract different people to you. That's a promise. Then you'll know through experience that that energy that you're carrying is through your thoughts. Now you have to believe in yourself, you have to trust yourself. You never doubt yourself through your own words. You really truly understand how powerful you are through your own thoughts. That's what I'm trying to give you here. Take ownership. Own this body, this temple. Own it. It's yours. It's nobody else's. You won't fall back. You'll take responsibility for the chatterbox. You will not become frightened of your own thoughts. I'll be doing another video about that anyway. Never be frightened of words and thoughts in your own head. Why would you do that? There's nobody else sitting there. And we are doing this to ourselves. Lies, telling ourselves lies. Or else we're looking at other people in the world and judging them, condemning them, hating them, resenting them. We can't change them. We can't make them take back what they've said or done. They can't even hear us when we're shouting and bawling at them at the television. And we wonder why we keep falling back. Stay away from all that negativity. The universe will take care of that. Please believe me. People are getting fed up just now with what's going on in the world. And I'm not talking about riots here. I'm talking about people sticking together and coming together. Something will happen. Please don't look at the world. Look at yourself and why you're looking at the world. How you're not comfortable in your own skin. That's what you want. You want peace and quiet. Create it. Don't allow anybody to take away your serenity. Don't blame them for it. Take full ownership and responsibility, and I promise you, the peace that you will feel and the serenity will be beyond your wildest dreams. So, thank you everybody for listening. It's very kind of you. I'm very grateful. If you want to leave any comments, or if you want me to talk about a topic or anything, I'd be more than grateful. And if you could subscribe, get the channel out there to help others who struggle and suffering, I'd be more than grateful. Thank you all so much. Thank you.